Spirited attempts to follow in the footsteps of Scrooge as a modern meta retelling of A Christmas Carol. But bombastic musical numbers cause total whiplash and the script pulled in too many directions. This and more on the Cinema Gold Show today. Welcome to the Cinema Gold Show. I am your host, Larry Lace, and on today's episode, we're diving into the latest box office numbers and headlines from around the industry. But first, we'd like to thank our sponsor, Poddex, for sponsoring this episode. If you're a podcaster looking to grow your audience and get more engagement, you're going to want to check out Poddex today. Visit poddex.com, use the promo code Larry21 for 10% off your order. And stay tuned to the end of the episode and you can see Poddex in action with our Poddex segment. And now on to our first topic. She Said has bombed at the box office as Black Panther 2 pulls in another $67.3 million. While Black Panther Wakanda Forever is still making huge money in theaters, She Said has flopped with its debut. The Marvel sequel Black Panther Wakanda is having another very dominant weekend at the box office. Find an escape from reality and something exciting like a superhero film over rehashing the real-life horrors of Weinstein's crimes. But I mean, you are competing against Wakanda, Black Panther 2, The Menu. There's a lot of decent movies out right now. And yeah, real-life horrors, probably not something I would want to watch right now. Another movie also debuted this weekend to land in a respectable spot. The Menu, from director Mark Mylod, premiered at number 2, pulling in $9 million. The rated R movie overcame the theatrical screening of the first 2 episodes of The Chosen's 3rd season, which screened in theaters courtesy of Fathom Events. This pulled in $8.21 million. The Rock's superhero epic Black Adam falls to number 4 with its 5th weekend in theaters, gaining another $4.4 million. The George Clooney and Julia Roberts rom-com Ticket to Paradise rounds out the top 5 with its haul of $3.2 million in domestic theaters. Black Panther Wakanda Forever pulled in another $67.3 million with its 2nd weekend in theaters, firmly staying high at the top spot of the box office. It is now up to nearly $288 million total domestically after opening to an astonishing $181 million. When we factor in the overseas ticket sales, the film is up to almost $500 million globally. So to recap, Black Panther Wakanda Forever is sitting at number 1 with $67.3 million, followed by The Menu with $9 million, and at number 3, The Chosen Season 3 Episodes 1 and 2 at $8.21 million. Then number 4 is Black Adam with $4.48 million, Ticket to Paradise at $3.2 million, She Said at $2.25 million, Lyle Lyle Crocodile at number 7 with $1.9 million, Smile at $1.14 million, which is actually playing on Paramount Plus right now. Number 9, I'm not going to try to say that name, for $1.05 million, and number 10, Pray for the Devil with $935,000. Before we move on, give us a thumbs up if you like our video, subscribe to the channel, help us reach 1,000 subscribers by April. And if you want to support the show, you can buy us a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/cinemagold. Your support helps the channel grow, upgrade our equipment, bring in new hosts, and be able to pay them. And without further ado, our next topic is our review of Spirited. The surprisingly scary 1983 Mickey's Christmas Carol proved that Charles Dickens' classic story of a miser persuaded to change his ways through ghostly intervention can be skillfully told in just 26 minutes. Modern adaptation Spirited extends the tale to 2 hours by tacking on a riff on City of Angels and Wings of Desire and a bunch of songs. It's a muddled mess that squanders the talent of its cast and the potential to update the story by moving too far from the themes that have made A Christmas Carol a holiday season staple. Spirited imagines the Christmas Eve reckoning as an annual affair put on by an entire team of ghosts that act as a hybrid between Santa's workshop and the experiments in redemption conducted in the latter seasons of The Good Place. Will Ferrell's Ghost of Christmas Present has been putting off retiring for decades. Fretting his work, turning Karens into good neighbors hasn't had enough impact on the world. When he encounters Clint Briggs, played by Ryan Reynolds, a PR consultant so resistant to self-improvement, he's dubbed, unredeemable. Present deems him an appropriate challenge for a career capstone. One of the many problems with Spirited is that the director-writer Sean Anders and co-writer John Morris can't seem to decide who it's for. The exuberant, earnest musical numbers make it seem like they're trying to recapture the family-friendly good feelings of Will Ferrell's 2003 film Elf. But Spirited has a striking amount of swearing and drug and porn references, and a discordantly dark spin on Tiny Tim that might give parents pause. It comes across as totally inconsistent regardless of the audience. It name drops Scrooge to acknowledge the last movie to do a modern meta version of A Christmas Carol, but fails to deliver any of the elements that made the film great. Case in point, Octavia Spencer plays Clint's right-hand woman, Kimberly, serving the same role as a stand-in for Scrooge's clerk, Bob Cratchit, that Alfred Woodard's Grace Cooley did in Scrooged, but Kimberly lacks Grace's version of Tiny Tim, who provided one of Scrooge's most powerful and emotional payoffs. Spencer gets one of the best songs in the film as she mourns the moral compromises she's made for upward mobility. But her character development ends there. Spirited never explains what she's working for or what she wants, instead limiting her to a romantic arc with Present. Clint repeatedly shifts the focus from his own malfeasance to delving into Present's motivations. Almost all that time feels wasted, as does everything involving the other ghosts that Present works with. Tracy Morgan's humor is utterly wasted as a ghost of Christmas Future who wants to add a catchphrase onto his regular shtick of pointing a bony hand to intimidate the wicked. Sanita Manny's past is entirely defined by thinking Clint is hot. Everyone else is just there to deliver lazy workplace comedy cliches or complain about being in a musical. Particularly weird choice, and Spirited likely would have been better off just embracing the whimsy of its big tap numbers and heartfelt reprises. The deflection also keeps the film from investigating who Clint is or the way his job engineering controversies affect the world and the people closest to him. Clint's introduced turning a preference for real or plastic Christmas trees into a culture war issue through a rousing musical number reminiscent of the Music Man's You Got Trouble. Tracing the impact of that campaign could have been a great running gag that would also bring home Clint's Scrooge-like ability to make Christmas miserable. Perhaps the biggest misstep is utterly abandoning A Christmas Carol's focus on wealth inequality. Spirited draws on the extended backstory of Scrooge presented in the 1951 A Christmas Carol starring Alastair Sim, but doesn't give the drama enough room to breathe before having Clint literally flee the scene of a traumatic memory so that the film can transition to another zany musical number. Clint's budding bromance with Present makes him more likable than this character should be, and the writers have inserted an unnecessary younger brother just to let Clint off the hook for being a bad uncle to his late sister's kid. But perhaps the biggest misstep is utterly abandoning A Christmas Carol's focus on wealth inequality, even though it's just as relevant today as it was in Dickens' time. Every character in the film is either wealthy or a ghost that doesn't need to care about money. The one person who does help the homeless is alternately seen as grudgingly doing the work or virtue signaling. Spirited utterly ignores A Christmas Carol's message about generosity in favor of a far vaguer moral about being less of a jerk. Farrell and Reynolds do their best to bring the songs to life, but neither are particularly musically talented. Spirited's music is undeniably catchy, and the sets seem to have been imagined with an eye to the stage as if the writers were hoping it would follow in Elf's footsteps and become a Broadway musical. Perhaps that possible adaptation will allow some rewrites and better performances to redeem the film's squandered potential. So, now you're obviously asking, what do you think our verdict is? Well, let me tell you. Spirited attempts to follow in the footsteps of Scrooged as a modern meta retelling of A Christmas Carol, but bombastic musical numbers cause tonal whiplash and a script pulled in too many directions. Even archetypes need some character development, and Spirited fails to make it happy ending feel earned. Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. What did you think of Spirited? Have you watched it? Have you not? Let us know. And now on to our next topic, which is a bit sad. Rest in peace, Jason David Frank, longtime star of Power Rangers. The fan favorite Green Ranger actor who stayed with the series through multiple iterations has passed away. According to multiple reports on social media and confirmed by a rep to TMZ, former Power Rangers star Jason David Frank has died from what TMZ's sources have said was suicide, which later on was confirmed to be suicide. Frank was one of the original stars of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, debuting in the first show in 1993 as Tommy Oliver, the initially villainous Green Ranger who later became a good guy, and then the White Ranger after that. He reprised his roles multiple times throughout the decades-long run of Power Rangers shows, either as a main character or in a special cameo. He was 49 at the time. Power Rangers, especially the original series, famously used stock footage from a Japanese Super Sentai show for its fight scenes, during which regular teenagers are transformed into super-powered warriors, which caused some problems for the producers when Frank's Tommy Oliver became a fan favorite. They only had so much footage of the Sentai equivalent of their Green Ranger, which necessitated the introduction of various plot points that kept Tommy Oliver off the board. Like when Tommy lost his Ranger powers and was later reborn as the White Ranger. A similar issue came up in other Power Ranger shows, but that didn't stop Frank from continuing to be a favorite. He appeared in Power Rangers Zeo, Power Rangers Turbo, Power Rangers Wild Force, Power Rangers Dino Thunder, Power Rangers Super Mega Force, Power Rangers Hyper Force, Power Rangers Super Ninja Steel, and the 1995 and 97 Power Rangers movies, and the 2017 Power Rangers reboot, in which he had a cameo appearance. Outside of Power Rangers, Frank was also a trained MMA fighter and had extensive knowledge of various martial arts styles. And of course, we at Cinema Gold Show offer our condolences to his family, and to remind everyone, if you or someone you know is struggling with suicidal thoughts, please contact the National Suicide Prevention and Lifeline any time of day, 24 hours a day, by dialing 988. They're here to help and to remind you that no matter how dark it gets, there's always a ray of sunshine. And now on to our next topic. Bob Iger is back as the CEO of Disney. What's old is new again at Disney. Bob Iger is officially back as CEO. In a shocking turn of events, the media giant announced late Sunday that Iger will return to lead the company as its chief executive officer, effectively immediately. Iger replaces Bob Chapek, who has stepped down from his position after less than 3 years on the job. Iger spent more than 4 decades at Disney, including 15 years as CEO. According to the company, Iger will serve as CEO for 2 years with a mandate from the board to set the strategic direction for renewed growth and to work closely with the board in developing a successor to lead the company at the completion of his term. Quote, the board has concluded that as Disney embarks on an increasingly complex period of industry transformation, Bob Iger is uniquely situated to lead the company through this pivotal period, said Susan Arnold, Disney's chairman of the board, in a press release. The news comes just months after Disney's board of directors unanimously voted in June to extend Bob Chapek's contract for another 3 years through 2025. At the time, the board noted Chapek's leadership was essential in helping the company overcome pandemic headwinds. Nevertheless, his tenure has been riddled in controversy, from political battles to A-list talent problems to controversial reorganizations, and the ever-looming shadow of Bob Iger, who has spoken out against some of his decisions. Since Chapek took over as Disney CEO in late February 2020, Disney shares are down about 19%. The S&P 500 is up around 34% over that same period. Iger said, "I am extremely optimistic for the future of this great company and thrilled to be asked by the board to return as its CEO. Disney and its comparable brands and franchises hold a special place in the hearts of so many people around the globe, most especially in the hearts of our employees, whose dedication to this company and its mission is an inspiration. I am deeply honored to be asked to again lead this remarkable team with a clear mission focused on creative excellence to inspire generations through unrivaled, bold storytelling." Let us know your thoughts on Bob Iger returning and Mr. Chapek leaving. Do you agree with the decision? Are you glad to see Chapek leave? Let us know. And what do you think this means for the future of Disney products, whether it's streaming, the parks, or anything other Disney related? Let us know. And now on to our Poddex segment. Today's question is, what is your favorite movie of all time? And that's always a tough question, because for me, it changes over time. All time, I would say it's a tie between Pulp Fiction and Reservoir Dogs. Currently, I'd say possibly within last 5 years, it would be Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and then just recently, see how they run. But let us know in the comment section below, what's your favorite movie of all time? And if you want to support the show, you can buy us a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/cinemagold. Thank you for listening and watching. Subscribe to our channel. Hit that thumbs up button. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell notification button to be notified of future videos. And find us on all major podcast platforms, including Good Pods, Spotify, iTunes, and anywhere you get your podcasts from. And as always, thank you so much for watching and listening. We will see you next time.